The main focus of this channel will be to remove paint from antique and mid-century furniture pieces like this one. Stay tuned. We're welcoming in a number of new subscribers since the last video, so I want to say welcome to Mad City Modern. My name is Barry, this is a furniture channel, and I live here in Madison, Wisconsin, USA. Just want to say welcome to all of you all over the world. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. I found this 5-drawer mid-century dresser on Facebook Marketplace. I messaged the seller. She mentioned the sale was pending. I didn't think anything about it. About 5 months later, she messaged me back saying the first buyer never picked up the dresser and it was available for $25. I believe this to be a Bassett mid-century dresser from about the 1960s. There is some damage, as you can see, some edge banding veneer, both sides. There are a few minor repairs to the back side of the dresser. And finally, there is some damage to the top corner of the veneer on this dresser. I should be able to glue this right back to the substrate. For now, this may seem crazy, but I'm going to place a friendly reminder while I'm scraping not to do more damage to this veneer. Just a quick tip, many of you have purchased this carbide scraper from my links. You can flip the blade around and get more use out of it. I'm going to scrape several sections of this dresser like I usually do when a piece like this has been refinished. It's going to be a risk here because I don't know when someone was scuff sanding, I don't know how much damage was done to the veneer, and that's the risk that I'm taking with this project. I'll move on to removing the drawers for this dresser. You can see with all the details, some of you are probably thinking ahead that I must be crazy for trying to remove all this paint from all these details. You'd be right. I'll move on to removing the legs. This is relatively easy. I'm just going to label them so that I don't forget when it's time to put them back. The front part of this base, or the curved section, is made of plywood and is covered with walnut veneer. So I should be able to sand this down, reapply the new stain, and reassemble. The remainder of the project will be broken down into 3 steps so it's easier to understand. First, I'm going to apply the paint stripper, then I'm going to sand the entire piece, and finally apply the new finishes. For those of you who are visual learners, I set up all the products that I will be using for this project. I did use most of them. I also wanted to compare a few of the main products that I use regularly. I received a few more letters and postcards in the mail this week, so I want to do my best to include this in my videos as well. Thank you for all the support so far. So I was going to do a comparison with several different products, but as I got into this project, I realized how much of a challenge it was going to be, and I didn't want to get too involved with comparing all these different products. I will, however, compare 2 products here because I get this question all the time. What's better, Citrus Strip that I'm applying here, or Clean Strip Premium Stripper? In my opinion, it's a no-brainer. Clean Strip Premium Stripper is the best version. It's 12 degrees here, 12 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm lucky to get the garage to about 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and as I brush on the Clean Strip, it's removing the paint as I'm brushing it on. The Citrus Strip was almost non-effective in this temperature. You can see as I'm trying to remove the paint here with the citrus strip that a lot of it's just peeling off like almost like bubble gum. And this is when I knew I was in trouble. Once I realized how difficult it was going to be to remove this paint, I started throwing everything at it. Nylon brushes, scotch pads, scrapers, mineral spirits, clean strip after wash. So you'll see a variety of things. In my opinion, the plastic spatulas work the best. You can get a 3-pack for $3 or $4, get multiple uses out of them. I'm still struggling here, obviously, and so I hope this at least makes for some good entertainment. If you aren't familiar with YouTube, YouTube ads are how the content creators get paid. I recently had a viewer tell me that I had too many ads in my videos, more ads than a magazine. So I thought we'd fact check that, pulled a few magazines out here, looking through, and let's see. Yes, that's quite a few ads. I did get a little distracted though. I mean, obviously our project isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Got distracted. This is from 1941 and Lane Cedar Chest, $29.75, or for the premium version, $39.50. Now you can find them in the thrift stores for $5, $10. Or if you're a fan of Virginia House, you can get a 3-piece bedroom set for $79.95, and it's Hard Rock Mountain Maple. We're not finished removing the paint yet, but I thought I would try and do something productive by fixing the back of this dresser. The difficult part with removing this paint is I believe the previous owner primed over the original lacquer and then went over that with a coat of paint. So usually, especially with this cheaper citrus strip, it only removes, as you can see, the top layer. So wonderful, we removed the paint. Now we have a layer of primer and likely a layer of lacquer underneath. For this part of the video, I'm going to show the rest of the ways that I tried to remove this paint. And perhaps there are some of you who are a few steps ahead of me and have already figured out what's going to work the best. We'll get there in a moment. I'll start sanding with 150 grit sandpaper discs on the orbital sander. I'll work my way up to 220 grit sandpaper in preparation for the gel stain application. Because this veneer was likely scuff sanded, I'm working with an ultra thin layer of walnut veneer, so I want to be very careful with this part of the process, making sure that I don't spend too long in one specific area. Although this veneer is real walnut, here's an example of a piece of walnut veneer, just so you get an idea of how thin this layer actually is. I'm sure some of you were wondering what I was going to do, and this is truly the point where I felt defeated by this project. I had a few plans in mind all along, but I never expected that I would be picking paint out for hours, even days at this point. And that's when I decided to go all out and do this the right way. I received several gifts from my Amazon wish list this week, and I want to continue to try and find ways to show my gratitude. These ones came just in time. These are sanding discs or sanding drums for the Dremel, so this was perfect for a very specific reason, which you'll see in a moment. As I wrap up this project, I'll finish by patching a few damaged spots with walnut wood filler. There was one section that was completely missing the edge banding veneer, so this is pre-glued. Just need to iron it on and round off the edges. Because it's too cold in the garage to apply these finishes, I'll wipe this piece off with a tack cloth. and then go right into applying the Candlelight Gel Stain by General Finishes. This is one of my favorite gel stains for mid-century pieces. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a thumbs up, and saying hello in the comments. I reply to every message. Also follow me on Instagram at Mad City Furniture. I'll try and post weekly updates there as well. Also, there are ways to support the channel linked in the description. All the donations will be used to continue buying painted furniture pieces like this. For the final step, I'm applying General Finishes Armor Seal. This is an oil-based wipe-on poly. I'm using a non-abrasive pad. You can also use a rag for this. Finally, I hope this video will inspire you to find a project of your own that will challenge you beyond what you think you're capable of.